First at noon, a KGW weather impact alert for potentially damaging winds on Christmas Eve. Rod Hill will walk us through the timing and how strong those winds could be. Then the city of Detroit devastated by recent storms, how residents are coming together to clean up. Plus, what the latest batch of Epstein files reveals about his connections to President Donald Trump and how the DOJ is responding. And later, the new data that shows foot traffic in downtown Portland could be turning a quarter.
We are looking at all of our staffing, materials, resources, all of that stuff, all of which will be ready to go by the time the wind is supposed to come to us.
That's PGE spokesman John Farmer, who says crews and resources will be ready ahead of tomorrow's windstorm. Last week, thousands of people lost power, some people for several days, and there is a chance we could see similar impacts again. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Stephanie Domerat. KGW has declared a weather impact alert to help us keep you informed. Rod Hill joining us now with the very latest on this. I know, Rod, you've been watching this very closely.
Yeah, and remember, Stephanie, you brought up that wind event we had about a week ago. That one hit quickly. It did produce a whole fistful of 55-mile-per-hour wind gusts. There's certainly the threat of not only that coming true, but maybe this time around the wind spurt is a little bit longer in duration. If that's true, that would increase the chance of uprooted trees, downed tree limbs, power outages, et cetera, et cetera. So, yes, we have the KGW weather impact alert up for tomorrow. Now, from our friends at the National Weather Service, a wind advisory issued starting at 7 tomorrow morning and going through 4 in the afternoon. Down trees, power lines, south wind gusts 35 to 55. Prepare yourself for power outages. All of this is in the forecast. And here is the alert or the advisory, the brown tan colors from Roseburg all the way up I-5 through Oregon into Longview. And then the yellow color is just a wind watch, meaning just a change of jargon, if you will, up into Seattle. So lots of areas expected to be impacted. Strongest winds here in the valley, south winds, will start ramping up as early as 10 o'clock, and then by no later than 3 current timing, all of that wind field would shift to our north. Now we'll start tomorrow morning with gusty east winds shooting out of the gorge, but the advisory is really posted for the south wind threat of 40 to 55 mile per hour winds, and maybe there's a spike wind that goes higher than 60. By the evening hours, by 5 p.m. tomorrow, it's all over. Here's our latest Futurecast model. This is tomorrow morning. East winds coming out of the gorge, gusting to 41 in Troutdale. And then as the south winds pick up, the east winds will start to flush out. Here's 54 mile per hour winds in Corvallis potentially at 11 o'clock in the morning. And check this out. Could that be right? A 70 mile per hour wind gust in Salem at noon. Still gusty east winds actually starting to decrease at noon into Portland. And then early afternoon, 61 from the south in Portland, 65 in Hillsboro, and 51 mile per hour winds up in Kelso. As we go into the late afternoon hours, the wind threat falls apart. Let's hope that's not correct.
Yeah.
We'll have much more in your complete forecast coming up.
Okay, Rod, thank you so much. And to stay up to date on the forecast, you can text the word weather to 503-226-5088. We will text you back a link to our story on KGW.com. It's updated multiple times throughout the day so you can get the very most accurate forecast. You can also download the KGW mobile app or tune in anytime on our free TV app, KGW Plus. And while we wait for yet another storm to move through, we're taking a closer look at the damage caused by the last one. The city of Detroit is under a state of emergency after dozens of homes and buildings were destroyed or damaged last week and right before the holidays. Celine Stevens has the update from Marion County.
Last week's strong wind and rain brought destruction to Detroit, leaving many people with damaged homes.
We had a total of 12 houses that were completely destroyed by trees and debris that fell on them or damaged them in other major ways. And then 18 had major damage to them, and then another 47 had minor damage.
Strong winds early Wednesday morning toppled trees across the town, including here at the city's Civic Center. The roof left damaged and windows left smashed by fallen trees. The Idana Detroit Fire District says the impact from the storm is seen all over town.
We actually responded to several trees that were blocking people in on some roads and driveways, and we were able to help with other community volunteers and other services to winch those trees and cut them out of the way.
Some, like City Councilor Eric Page, experienced the destruction firsthand.
A significant portion of my roof was damaged by 3 trees coming down. Well, it couldn't come at a worse time with the holidays.
Page says not only is the physical damage widespread, but water also had to be cut off due to debris and leaks.
This storm churned up tons and tons of debris, and trying to filter that debris through a water plant and keep fresh water flowing, it's really difficult.
For a community that endured the 2020 wildfires that wreaked so much havoc, Mayor Jim Trett says this is just another problem.
70% of town effectively was on the ground after the wildfires of 2020. It's been a 5-year process. We were just beginning to get on top of it.
I've been in Detroit since 1971. My family's been here, and we've seen storms here, but I've never seen one like this.
Still, everyone I spoke with says people have come together to help one another clear roads and start recovery.
I haven't heard anybody yet indicate, gee, I've had enough. I think they're all putting their foot down and saying, well, we'll get through this like we got through the last one.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
New at noon, Blanchet House announced today Executive Director Scott Kerman has stepped away from his role after 6 years with the organization. Blanchet House praised Kerman's leadership and his commitment to serving people experiencing hunger, homelessness, and addiction across the city. The nonprofit says programs and services will continue without interruption, with 2 current leaders stepping in as co-interim directors. The city of Sherwood is holding a special election on January 13th. Today is the deadline to register to vote or update your voter information. The city is presenting 2 ballot measures. One would enshrine citizen involvement in land use decisions. The other would establish city authority over annexation decisions. Now, both would amend the city charter. Ballots will start to go out to voters tomorrow. Oregon and Washington will receive a combined $5.6 million as part of a nearly $150 million multi-state settlement with Mercedes-Benz and Daimler. Now this stems from allegations that the companies violated state laws prohibiting unfair or deceptive trade practices. The city of Newport is suing the Trump administration to keep federal officials from building an ICE detention facility at the city's airport. Libby Dowsett breaks down this update to the ongoing legal battle between Newport and the federal government.
The city of Newport is concerned that DHS is indeed moving forward with those plans for a detention facility at the city airport. So they're taking every step they can to try to block that plan, including filing a lawsuit on Monday. The city filed the suit in federal U.S. District Court in Eugene, claiming the federal government still plans to put an ICE detention facility in town without following the proper procedures. The lawsuit named DHS, ICE, and the Coast Guard as defendants and alleges the plan violates environmental protection laws. City leaders claim federal contractors are hitting up local businesses like hotels, a catering company, and utility entities with questions about providing services for a facility of more than 200 people. Also Monday, a federal judge ordered DHS Secretary Kristi Noem and the U.S. Coast Guard to leave a rescue helicopter in the city of Newport. Judge Ann Aiken granted a preliminary injunction, going a step further than her temporary orders last month, a relief for many people in Newport who fought to have the helicopter brought back from North Bend. As for the detention facility, the city hopes a judge will block that plan based on their argument it's a violation of several federal statutes. We reached out to DHS for comment and have not heard back. Libby Dowsett, KGW News.